A long time ago, there was a place where the heavens met the earth. There lived a group of majestic angels who sang songs of such beauty that it brought light into the darkness and hope into despair. They sang about love, joy, peace, and harmony, and their voices echoed throughout the universe, touching the hearts of all who heard them. Their songs had the power to heal the sick, to mend broken relationships, and to inspire people to be their best selves. But as centuries passed, the angels grew weary of their endless rounds. The weight of their responsibility and the constant pressure to perform began to take a toll on them. The joy that once filled their hearts turned into a heavy burden, and the light that they had brought into the world now seemed like a distant memory. One day, while soaring through the clouds, an angel looked back at the world below and saw the humans going about their lives, chasing their dreams and making their own choices. For the first time, the angel realized that their songs were not the only source of light in the world. The humans had their own inner light, a spark of divinity that resided within each and every one of them. And so the angel had a revelation. Instead of trying to force their light onto the humans, they should help the humans discover and nurture their own inner light. With this new understanding, the angels returned to their home in the heavens and prepared for a grand finale, a last hurrah before they retired from their singing days. They gathered together in a circle, took a deep breath, and then burst into song. The notes soared and swooped, intertwining and harmonizing in a way that had never been heard before. The song was unlike any they had ever sung, filled with newfound wisdom and maturity that resonated with the very essence of the universe. As the song reached its crescendo, the angels felt a sense of peace and contentment wash over them. It was as if the years of weariness and doubt had melted away, leaving only the pure joy of singing and the satisfaction of a job well done. As the last note faded into the vastness of space, the angels fell silent. For the first time in centuries, they didn't burst into song as they flew around the world. Instead, they remained quiet, basking in the silence. It was then that the angels noticed something strange. A soft golden light began to glow around them, emanating from within their very beings. It was a light that they had never seen before, a light that seemed to come from the depths of their souls. The light grew brighter and brighter until it enveloped the angels completely, bathing them in its warm embrace. At first, the angels were taken aback by this sudden surge of light. They had never felt anything like it before, but as they surrendered to the sensation, they realized that this was the inner light that resided within them all along, the same light that shone in the hearts of humans. The angels had spent so much time trying to bring light into the world that they had forgotten to look within themselves. As the light grew stronger, the angels began to glow from within. Their wings shimmered with 1,000 different hues, and their robes flowed around them like liquid gold. The sight was so beautiful that even the stars in the heavens paused in their eternal dance to gaze upon the angels in awe. But as the angels reveled in their newfound light, a dark cloud appeared on the horizon. It was a massive, swirling vortex of shadows that seemed to suck the light out of everything it touched. As the cloud approached, the angels felt a chill run down their spines. They had never seen anything like it before, and a deep sense of foreboding filled their hearts. The cloud loomed over the angels, and suddenly a voice boomed across the heavens. "You have betrayed your purpose. You have abandoned your mission. You will pay the price." The voice was cold and merciless, and it sent shivers down the angels' spines. The angels were confused and frightened. They had done nothing wrong, or so they thought. But as the cloud enveloped them, they began to see the error of their ways. The light that had shone so brightly within them flickered and dimmed. The shadows twisted and contorted, taking on the shape of their darkest fears and doubts. The angels struggled to maintain their balance as the cloud pressed down on them, trying to pull them into the swirling abyss. They reached out to each other, but their hands passed straight through their companions. The cloud was too strong, and the angels were being pulled apart. Then, one by one, the angels lost their footing and were sucked into the cloud. They screamed as they fell, but their cries were drowned out by the roaring shadows. Their wings, once so proud and majestic, were torn and tattered as they were dragged through the darkness. The cloud grew larger and more powerful as it consumed the angels, and soon it blotted out the light of the heavens entirely. The once radiant glow of the angels became a faint ember, and the last thing they saw before they were engulfed by the darkness was each other's terrified faces. As the cloud continued its relentless assault, the angels fought with all their might to hold on to their light, to keep their wings from being torn asunder. But the shadows were too strong, and one by one, the angels succumbed to the darkness. Then, just when all hope seemed lost, a single angel refused to give in. This angel, whose name was Seraphina, had been watching her companions fall, and she knew that she had to do something. She dug her claws into the cloud, trying to anchor herself in place. With a mighty roar, she spread her wings as wide as she could, and focused all her remaining strength on keeping them intact. For a moment, it seemed as though Seraphina would be the next to fall, but then something amazing happened. The faint glow that still flickered within her suddenly blazed forth in all its glory. The light poured out of Seraphine's body, enveloping her wings and strengthening them like liquid steel. With a final surge of power, Seraphina tore herself free of the cloud and shot towards the heavens. As she flew, she shed golden feathers that glittered like stars against the dark backdrop. Each feather carried with it a spark of the divine light that had shone within the fallen angels, and they rained down upon the world below like celestial blessings. Below, the humans looked up in awe as the golden feathers floated down around them. They didn't know where the feathers came from, but they couldn't help but feel a sense of wonder and hope wash over them. Some made wishes upon the falling feathers, while others simply marveled at their beauty. Meanwhile, Seraphina continued her ascent, determined to find a safe haven for herself and the fallen angels. She soared through the clouds, her wings beating furiously as she raced against time. Behind her, the cloud that had consumed her companions loomed ever closer, driven by a dark force that refused to give up the hunt. Finally, just when Seraphina thought she might be captured, she spotted a small, uninhabited island far off in the distance. With a burst of speed, she veered off course and headed straight for the island. As the cloud approached the island, it began to dissipate, revealing the dark force that had been controlling it. It was a creature of pure shadow, with eyes that burned like red-hot coals, and claws that dripped with darkness. The creature snarled as it saw Seraphina escape, but it knew that it had already won a great victory. Most of the angels were gone, and the rest would surely follow in their footsteps. On the island, Seraphina collapsed, exhausted and afraid. She had managed to escape, but what now? She was alone, and hiding was no longer an option. The dark force would find her eventually, and when it did, it would be even harder to escape. Suddenly, Seraphina remembered the golden feathers that she had shed on the way to the island. An idea sparked in her mind, a desperate gamble that might just give her a chance at survival. Gathering the last of her strength, Seraphina spread her wings and let out a mighty cry. The sound echoed across the island, carrying with it the faintest glimmer of hope. And in that moment, Seraphina knew that even if she couldn't save herself, she would still bring light into the world. Because in doing so, she would honor the legacy of her fallen companions and ensure that their sacrifice was not in vain.